Okay, so I think we're streaming. Not quite sure, but we're gonna run with it. So I had a few issues earlier. This is gonna be a bumpy ride, y'all. Be patient with me. Oh, so I'm trying to figure out the logistics of this, and I'm just playing with it, clicking buttons. The learning curve is huge, but I applaud all these people who get to do streaming online, and they're able. I just saw Black Boy Max talking with Kevin Gates. I don't know who Kevin Gates is, but that was interesting. So what I'm trying to do today is I went through co-op, a nonprofit program, and I'm just trying to learn. Yay, I'm streaming. Okay, distracted a little bit. Okay, so let's see here. If I can screen share. Lord have mercy. I don't even know how to screen share. Y'all are gonna learn with me. We're gonna do it together. How fun, right? Okay. Do I add a scene? Test underscore screen share. See if that works. No source selected. Okay. Okay. How do I input audio images? Mac. Ooh. Create. Alright, we gotta be careful now, cause now I'm sharing my whole computer. Sorry. Don't click anything weird. Don't click anything weird. Perfect. Planned Parenthood. Okay, anyways, we're gonna go straight to Tableau, where I had it earlier. Let's see. So this is Twitch again. This is I was looking at Planned Parenthood, trying to get involved with their careers since their base is in New York. Let's see, maybe we can go over this together. Clicking this, searching. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is for visits. Okay, whatever. We're gonna put that on my to-do list. Man, I can't even remember. This to-do list is so long. Oh, this is with Mr. Peter. Okay, I just want to highlight a conversation I had with this man named Peter. He's much older than I am. Retired, met his wife in Thailand, which was so cool because she teaches Chinese, and she moved out here to Jersey with him after 10 years, and they are so sweet, so cute. I asked him, mention a little bit about sales or whatever, and hold on, I don't know if I'm y'all are seeing my screen or seeing me, whatever. Anyways, he mentioned I should look into, he worked in family planning, Planned Parenthood. He said to check out Pop Council, which is Population Council, Pathfinder in Boston, and USAID is now defunded. It's bankrupt, granted what's happening in happening in the government. I can also check for big hospital consultation with patients, and PPFA, or one of them that he mentioned, Beltway bandits surrounded by the castle, past aid, good personality, that I should do sales. And he also did Peace Corps, so I think that's one thing that I'm curious in doing. So actually, I would say I should work on, let's see, I'm kind of overwhelmed, but I'm going to try to take it one step at a time. Oh, I have to cancel a few meetings too. Well, it's going to be harder than I thought. Let's try to go straight to what I was initially trying to teach y'all. Tableau. So first you gotta download Tableau Public. It's free. I thought it was cost like $1,000 for businesses, but know that that's the wrong one. If it's cost money, it's not it. Giving that a minute. So cool. Okay, that's really nice to know. I'm not sure what I'm doing exactly. Dying. Tableau might be on it as well, and it's gonna be confusion. Dang. Why is it so slow? Okay, well, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to figure this out, but it's not doing what I want to do. I'm in awe of what y'all can do. Let's see. Because I want my face in a little corner, but I don't know how to do that. What does that mean? Whoa. So much happening. This is like the worst, bro. Got everything flowing. Because I got this screen share. I got my face on the side. Huh? What the heck? I'm so confused. Okay, so maybe we can do transition override, grid mode. Whoa. Okay, next mode. What if this entire time you can see both my face and me, and I never had to do anything? This is so confusing. Whoa. What's happening? Okay, bear with me now. We have Okay, it's fine. It's fine. What's happening? Oh my god. Wow. Warning for people who are watching for seizures. Oh, nice. Alright, check it out. Y'all, we're getting closer to what the goal was. Alright, now we just have to wait. Alright, so we're going to start from the top. I was trying to figure this out earlier and it was really difficult, but here we are. We'll do it again. Just ready to sleep, bruh. So, by the way, this is Tableau. Let me pull up something for y'all. Amazing. Man, that's so lame. What the hell's happening? Y'all got my email now. Don't go crazy. What the? My bad. You just went in a circle. March 10th. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna pretend to be teaching y'all. Sorry if you saw that. Pick my boogers. I'm so sleepy, man. Please load. Okay. This is after completing a I didn't even have a good presentation. Alright, whatever. Whoa. Okay, this is not the right link. Also, I grind my teeth that night. That's random. I need a mouth guard. Okay, so the module consists of installation, cholera outbreak investigation video, discussion board, and Tableau 101 deck, link, and we had 2 different data sets. So we're going to explore emerging policies, technologies, and trends involving financial activity, and apply data analysis, data visualization techniques to using financial data. Let's watch this together.
Today, I'm going to tell you the story of one of the earliest and one of the greatest data analysts of all time. It's a story that had such a big impact on my life that I actually named my consulting company Snow Data Science after this guy. His name is Jon Snow. And no, not the guy from Game of Thrones, but an English physician from the mid-1800s who saved a country from a deadly outbreak of cholera using only data analytics. London, 1854, and there's a terrifying disease sweeping the streets, cholera. People are dropping like flies, and no one really knows why. In fact, over 500 people had died in this small area in the last 10 days. At the time, most people believed that cholera was spread through the air via bad smells and what's called bad air. Some people even believed that cholera was really only coming out of the cemeteries from people who had already previously passed of the disease. Basically, no one knew what was going on in the disease world. No one knew how people were getting sick. They just knew that people were getting sick at an alarming rate. And with that knowledge, 75% of that part of the city, Soho, fled due to fear of contracting the disease. Dr. John Snow was determined to figure out why these people were getting sick and how to fix it. You see, John was a doctor, and he had this crazy idea that maybe cholera wasn't spread through the air, but rather through water. And to us, that sounds pretty simple, but at the time, it was a revolutionary idea. But no one would believe him, so he knew he needed data to prove it. So John hit the streets. He started talking to people who had gotten sick and asked them a series of questions, one of which was crucially, where are you getting your water? And after interviewing dozens of folks, he looked at his notes and realized many had mentioned getting water from the same well, which was the pump down on Broad Street. A curious note, but nothing concrete. John realized he needed more. And here's where Snow did something revolutionary and thought like a data analyst. He created a map of the streets of London and plotted every cholera case on it. Each water pump was highlighted with a simple black circle, and each case of cholera was indicated by a simple black line stacked on top of the other one to represent multiple contractions at the same residence. After constructing the graph, he found that most of the deaths clustered around one pump, the pump on Broad Street. This gave him the data-driven evidence that maybe the disease was indeed in the water, specifically at that pump. This wasn't just a cool visualization that he made, it was data analytics in action. Armed with his data evidence, he headed to the local officials and presented his theory. He showed them his map and asked them to remove the handle of the pump, which would literally shut water down to that area. The government obliged and shut the pump down. And guess what? The cholera outbreak slowed nearly immediately. People stopped getting sick, people stopped dying, and the population of London returned to the city. This analysis didn't only save lives, it actually changed public healthcare forever. John Snow's work is considered one of the earliest examples of data analytics and is still referred to in pandemics or outbreaks. Here are 3 simple ways that you and I can be great analysts like John Snow. Number 1, visualize our data. We as humans are not very good at remembering numbers. We can only really take a look at 10 numbers at a time. If you don't believe me, try to memorize a telephone number in less than 10 seconds, and if you can, you're above average. If you don't believe me, just try to remember this number, 801-572-2778-43217. Go ahead and try to repeat that in the comments down below. If you get it, you're above average. We as humans are just not good at dealing with numbers, but we are good at visualizing. Our eyes are extremely powerful. And so instead of trying to just understand data inside of a notebook or inside of a spreadsheet, when we visualize data, that helps us understand it better. And that was the key to success to John figuring out what was causing this disease. Number 2, we can storytell with data. Notice that John didn't go to the government and just, show them the map or just tell them the theory. He combined the two. He told a story. In fact, they actually asked, well, what is happening with this green area right here and this green area right here that you see on the map? They're not getting sick. Why are they not getting sick, even though they're really close to this well? And he actually went and interviewed those people and found out that one was a bar, and they said, quote, no one drinks water here. So those people were actually saved from cholera by only drinking beer. And the second one was actually a prison where they actually have their own well inside of the prison. So he was able to illustrate the full story with the data that was able to convince the government that this was the cause, even though everyone thought it was in the air, that it was actually in the water. And number 3, another thing that John Snow did very well is explain the outliers. If you look at the map, you'll notice that towards the bottom and even some other places, there are outliers. There are people who contracted cholera that were not close to this pump and not using this pump. This would actually hurt his hypothesis, and he knew that. So he actually went to those areas to talk with those people and found out that many of them had relatives or they had recently visited that pump just a couple days ago. So the outliers did not hurt his case, they actually ended up supporting his case. If you want to be a great analyst like John Snow, go ahead and hit subscribe to get future episodes that will help you get there.
Great. So essentially, we're doing homework together. How? Okay, so after I finish all of these things, I always run it through ChatGPT to just grammatically correct. So that it can sound a little better. But all my ideas have been sought out, and of course I can get a little better of just typing out stuff, but with the things, it's just, with technology, it's helpful to just get that through. So I'm going to read back to you. The data visualizations helped the government quickly understand how cholera was spreading, who it was affecting, and why some areas had no cases at all. When he mapped out the city and interviewed the residents, he noticed a common pattern and a difference between two populations that used different pumps. It was clear that Dr. Snow did all the heavy lifting, leaving the yes and no decision making to the government. In testing/experimenting by simply removing the pump and observing the results, drawn great conclusions to Dr. Snow's. Instead of having the government collect the data and make the visualization, all of this was predetermined by Mr. Snow. Therefore, if he didn't have the collection data and just looked at the people getting sick, there could have been multiple reasons or hypotheses as to why folks were getting sick. Advancements in technology will improve and create more noise in the data collection processes. Think of law of large numbers. The more results we have, the better our probability will be. However, coming up with key questions before diving into the data is critical, as this will make it difficult to figure out a story by just looking at the numbers. For example, chronological order of this. Consider this of executing data and analytics and visualization. It must be like this. Problems. Come up with a problem, question, mystery, then find, followed by cleaning followed by cleaning the noise from the data, then sorting/filtering data. Then sort/filter data. After coding, labeling the data, and finally visualizing it. That is just the data visualization part. Then comes the interpretation part, which can be difficult because of various opinions that can be made. Therefore, having discussions with other researchers or scientists is critical for technology advancement, as there are multiple ways to approach one problem. And okay. Oh no, I don't want to follow this thread. Okay, so now we're going to go back to my initial thing that I was doing. Back to the Tableau presentation. Thank you so much for bearing with me, by the way. We're going to go through just the slides since I I don't think I have the capacity to do the demonstrations through the sheets, but it should be enough because preparing the data is really slow on my end, and I don't want to keep going with this. Anyways, back to here. Tableau 101, Intro to Business Intelligence. The goal is to understand the importance of business intelligence and data analytics and become familiar with Tableau Public UI, user interface, and begin creating basic visualizations. So the agenda today is business intelligence, what is Tableau Public, navigating user interface and connecting data, creating basic visualization, and going over everything. So be sure to concentrate during lessons, ask questions, review to reinforce ideas, and exercise what you learned. So what we're doing right now is we're reinforcing the ideas by regurgitating this on Twitch. Word. Okay, what is business intelligence? Business intelligence refers to the systematic use of data in an organization. It encompasses the tools, technologies, and practices used to collect, integrate, analyze, and present business data for critical business operations. In other words, it's to show you and convince businessmen, hey, this is why you need to implement these new changes, or this is important because XYZ. And you show them the stats, whether, hey, you're losing money, or finding things that matter to them, like, oh my gosh, you would benefit if you hopped onto OpenAI. By considering this, you will cut down the cost of workers or hiring people by 65%. And everyone always wants to improve and optimize their business model. Now, by leveraging BI, business intelligence, organizations can uncover insights, patterns, trends, allowing them to make informed and strategic business decisions, aka data-driven decision making. A few examples of types of business decisions that can be influenced by BI is forecasting sales for the next quarter. That means like determining, okay, what should we put on for sale because holidays are coming, like Halloween and Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So how do we make sure that we will prepare for a lot of people who are buying, and maybe we'll be sold out and we'll miss out on this opportunity to sell so big. Allocating budgets for marketing campaigns. So let's say we need to make sure we have $5 million so that we can advertise that we have Black Friday deals, so that people will put on their calendars to come to our stores and buy, or post a bunch of ads on the day before Black Friday. And for those who are international students or something like that, just in case, Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving, where folks go crazy and shop for great deals on the markets. Followed by, I think it was like Pay It Forward Sunday or Donation whatever Saturday and Cyber Monday, which was created by, I guess, Amazon or those online storefronts. Next is allocating businesses for marketing. Oh, we said that one. Assessing the quality of a product launch over time. So we can say over the progressions of year, oh, last year we did it. Last year in 2024, Black Friday sucked because of XYZ, or we forgot to do ABC, or Elliot happened to be sick that time, and Elliot's a part of the operations team. So we lost a team member. Maybe we can have a backup plan next time. Evaluating employee performances. So that's the same reason of Elliot. Like, hey, Elliot, why weren't you here? Can you please train other employees so that we don't become super reliant on you? And when you're sick, we need you. You're our team player, so we need to have more team player, which might enhance more training opportunities. And lastly, determining store location for national expansion. So for example, if you place a Macy's in the middle of Las Vegas' Strip versus if you place Macy's in a very mom and pop shop store, where would they be gravitated towards? And I think tourists will be more likely to shop at Macy's because maybe they don't have Macy's in their country. Now, Tableau is an interactive like software that you can use by this big company called Salesforce. You can understand data. It kind of is like the paintbrushes and the coloring palettes that you can play with. And you can make spreadsheets, databases, the cloud to analyze data and pull these things like big chunks of information to convey it to business holders or whatever. So Tableau offers like these drag drop functions, which is like very helpful for newbies rather than like coding and knowing the right words to put in. You can be like, okay, well, I want to put the coffee in a mug. How do I do that? And you drag the coffee, put it in the mug pitcher, and it's like, oh, you have a mug, a cup of coffee. And it helps the users kind of understand that. It is used in almost every industry to help analyze, identify insights from complex data sets and make data-driven decisions. With Tableau, users can create interactive dashboards with graphs and charts to communicate complex ideas in a clear, concise way. So if I wanted to tell you, oh my gosh, please give me this job because I'm a data scientist and I go to UC Berkeley, that would be like, all right, I can't take your word for it. But if I use Tableau, I can say, hey, look at all these charts that I've made and all these projects I've created and the results of it and how much revenue I've driven. That might be more convincing for someone to hire me rather than saying, I went to Berkeley. Believe me that I have the skills that you might need. Now with the current state of folks that are here, it's too much. It's too heavy. Like everyone's having a bachelor's, so you're trying to find ways to be clear and concise to communicate these things so that these data-driven decisions, they'll be like, wow, you are fantastic because you are more complex than you think. Now, reports and dashboards. Dashboards collect a visualization or worksheet displayed together on to report on insights in a consumable way. So it's saying that like, okay, if you have this picture, it's so much easier to look at in one slide and it's not too overwhelming where I have to go through multiple books just to understand what you're saying. So, this is an example of things that people made, and you can see like, oh, there's the sales, profits, orders in quantity, and it looks like there's a lot of California sales. The people who are buying stuff are for their homes, and they're buying it via phones, and you can see if you're hitting your sales target and if things are matching. And so sometimes I think in businesses, they're like, please show it to make it a false illusion that we're doing really good. So for example, newscasters or what they would say, they would advertise and they're like 99% increase in life longevity if you drink Coke or wine each day. And so there are more things that go into this, and that's why dating can be deceiving in these typical dashboards and why businesses like it. Alternatives for business intelligence. You have the Looker, owned by Google, data modeling, customize their data, suits better for their specific needs. Power BI, this is for bigger companies. And Microsoft just has their own version like Excel and Azure. And it's a great resource. So for example, this is for big companies, and it's hidden, and it costs money. But then this other one for public, it's free for people who are new to this. You don't have to pay, and it also still provides you with the opportunity to create such beautiful artworks. Like, come on, you don't have to pay $1,000 if you're still learning the basic steps. Just use the things that you have currently. So Tableau as a portfolio, it's a great place to show potential employers like, hey, I know how to do things and I can showcase my skills. Like I mentioned before, I am a data scientist from UC Berkeley. Then folks are like, okay, have you worked with data? Yes. Can you show me? No. It's confidential. So this is a catch-22 because it's really hard to convey that. Now, user interface, that's UI. We have this LinkedIn salary that we were going to show you. You download it and you use it as a Microsoft Excel or commas separated values. Both works fine. And if you're gonna use the CSV file, which is at the bottom, the common separated values, then you have to click text file. But if it's not, then it's the Microsoft Excel. This is a part of the importing process. Click the folder that you want, and alternatively, option 2, CSV file, text file, and you import it as well. Now, this is what it looks like after you downloaded the data. Now, we have the metadata grid, we have the data grid, canvas, and the left pane. The left pane is something that we will reference a lot, and we will drag stuff into the metadata grid. Now, we have the save button to make sure you save it locally on your computer. And then when you have updates are made, it'll show that it's been updated and reflects the updated values. And in yellow here, if necessary, the data interpreted tool may fix the way Tableau reads the data box by checking the box here. So maybe it's like just helps. It's like a default thing, and you're like, oh, so magical, it's done something. Next, Tableau automatically, what you can do, and when you're trying to like play with the yellow box, is to like click it, check it, see what happens, and then uncheck the box to see what happens afterwards. Okay, next is Tableau will automatically mirror what's in your spreadsheet and assign types of data within the column. So it's really helpful because, for example, when you're coding in like Java or something, you have to often like describe what type of data this is. Is it a number? Is it a currency? Or what kind of object it is? And so if it updates it incorrectly, you can click on the icon and edit it, modify it on your own. So that's very helpful. You click sheet one, and you'll see a workspace. And so remember, metadata part, I think, or maybe it's like the pane. Let's see, the left pane. Yeah, the left pane, and the thing that's close to the left pane is an extension, I suppose. Like it has, it's a little funky because I'm not, oh, it's called the marks card. So it has a whole different thing after that. It was the next slide. We have shelves, toolbar, toolbar, shelves, filter card, data pane. It's not just left pane. Data pane is more helpful. Returning to the data source, current sheets, new sheets, and a view function so you can see everything. And all these things you don't have to remember. It's just like to go home, back arrow, forward arrow. Floppy disk is to save. We used to have that back then. Database icon plus sign adds another data set that you might want to include. Say if you have grades from students and you want to see the correlation between the sports that they do, and you can download the physical education grade as well to see if there's a correlation. Graph with X symbols means to clear your workspace. Swapping fields on axis, that like helps with pivots, where it's going to be columns and rows, rows and columns. Alter sheet fit view, so you can either make it super tiny, super wide, expand very tall, things like that. And presentation mode, which is really helpful for when you're giving this to other people, like businessmen or women, of course. So here we have the column rows. You can easily just start by point to the starting point to manipulate variables. So you click and drag. Then you have pages B. That's where each view is based on a number of the fields placed on the page's shelf. Don't know what that is, but I'm just reading off the slides. The filter car allows us to verify the field, what we want to filter on, and the value. So for example, I want you to filter all the people who are making over 500K salary and make sure you have it in currency. And D, lastly, the mark card controls the visual properties like cool tools, color, shapes, sizes, whatever. Now we have discrete and continuous variables. Discrete, blue fields, pill fields, which are numbers. I think this is so difficult. Even I forget. But discrete is like something you can categorize, which is so funny because you can't break it into smaller things like red and blue. You can't have baby red and baby blue because those don't exist. Not like, it's really hard. Like, okay, let's say genders. And I know that there's a spectrum. You can consider gender to be continuous, but in a very traditional world, stereotypically, there's a man and a woman. And you can have numbers of family members, and those lines can be very blurry, but I suggest don't worry about those just yet, because you're not likely to do those stuff unless you advance. Continuous variables is infinite, where there's a certain range. It can be a fraction, a decimal point, like distant, height, or weight. Think numbers. So, blue is typically, yeah. Yeah, so that's really helpful to know. They're just showing you an example. Dimension is a qualitative or categorical data where you can look on the x-axis of location, occupation, name, and then the y-axis is typically like the cost, the quantity to see the differences. So x-axis, always think you put in the word stuff, and then up on the top is like numbers on the y value. So we, for discrete stuff like what we said earlier, gender or number of family members, you use bar charts or heat maps where it shows you a gradient of color overlaying the values represented. That means like it's a crossover or a cross-hatching type of thing. So those discrete stuff are going to be at the bottom. Remember, they're going to be names or like here, location, occupation. And then for continuous, you can also have it on the y line too, or sorry, the x value. And it's usually like increasing. You have line charts, scatter plots, and histograms for that. And here we have this is the data pane again on the far left side, and you can see how intense this is with everything is already color coded for you. And let's see, there's blue pills and green pills that help you, and then measured fields are always located at the bottom, dimensions are always located at the top above the gray faint line. So think of dimensions as like, let's see, I think dimensions are typically things that are not numbers. So this is the time for you to add and drop and do it on your own. And so as you navigate this, I want you to drag and drop the columns and the rows here. And then you change the measurement to average because we want the average total salary. Otherwise, it's going to get so big and high, which you don't want. So again, it works really well. It can visualize things, but sometimes the information can't be helpful. So now we're going to do the median instead and see what happened. So that takes like the middle part. And if you want to change some space, you can clear your view so you can start anew, or create additional views to do more stuff. So format of the label is typically, you want it to be font size 14, bars wide, and chart. It just means yes or no. So you might want to change it and edit the alias, which is the labeling, adding colors, editing the title. You can remove the axes and stuff, just like you can do in Excel or Google Sheets. So now you've changed it to something so beautiful and more consumable, just like how Jon Snow created a green area for where there's no drinkers, or the tally marks for where it was most condensed, or demonstrating where the water pumps were. So now we're going to go to the second one, which is going to be Kakazu's finances. This is a task that we're given. We do the same thing. And then you create a line and it tells you how to do these things. Go ahead and feel free to pause. I don't know if you can do that on Twitch, but just want to share that. Get things like this. Again, this is also a part of removing like things that are empty, and cleaning data like we mentioned. And lastly, we have the dual charts, which is like this. You want it transparent. It's beautiful work, but it just takes a little while. So recap is that business intelligence is a technology to gain understanding of organization performance, presents insights in compelling ways, and helps drive key decisions for a business.